morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to the channel. First of all, apologies for the very slow uploads in the last couple of weeks. Um, we'll be doubling down from today onwards, at least two videos per day on the channel. So at least for those of you who have given me your time, at least I can continue to give you what you need. Now, today I'm going to talk about stepfatherhood. As we are all aware, this is a very thorny subject when it comes to, because the incidences of single motherhood are so many, so inevitably so many men are ending up dating and marrying single mothers. Now, this is cases of serious regret from the couple of gentlemen that we are going to listen to. This gentleman is called Stokibu, so he's here complaining. Let's hear what he has to say about that.
I've already taken care of these bitches' kids. I've already raised them for years at a time. It wasn't enough. They don't want no father figure. They want a crash dummy. I was already that guy where she was able to work full time and she didn't have to pay for a babysitter. She finally got what she wanted in life. She gets to keep her paychecks, drive the boyfriend's car. She ain't had to worry about gas. It was full all the time. Make her money, didn't have to spend it. That wasn't enough. Be careful. Be careful who y'all date out here. Y'all gentlemen, y'all do a lot.
Now, that is really the sentiment here, because, first of all, it should be obvious to the many men that are becoming stepfathers that you're not really there because she really wants you. And that's most of the cases. Yeah, of course, there are instances where she wants the person coming in as a stepfather, really. But in most of these times, what is needed is your wallet. What she's looking for is help to raise her children. And that's not just financial, but there is the time you'll take to raise the children and do all that. So basically, that's why you're there. But for many men, they seem to be taking this deal. I don't understand it. One of my non negotiables to have a serious relationship is whether you have a child or not. If a woman has a child, to me, it doesn't matter how good she is or supposedly how she's the best woman in the world. I would not get involved. That's just me. Some of you might, I lay that as the bare minimum. As a man who doesn't have children, why would I take up the responsibility of other men? I've never understood it. For me, even if I was unable to get children, I'll probably adopt children, probably give someone else a chance instead of some loser's kid who is running around doing whatever you want as you take over his responsibility. Secondly, a lot of the children will always have access, mostly, to the father, and the father will have access to them and the mother. This is whether you like it or not. Most of the time, you really cannot overcome the years and the experiences these two other people have had. Sometimes just a child is enough. You're trying to fit into his role as not only her man, but her child's father with the other man. So you're losing from the beginning. And unless I've never really understood, there's no upside to this. I know a lot of people feel good about it when their stepchildren make it and whatnot. Fine, but I would rather that be my child. It will always be number one, and there's no number two when it comes to passing on my genes. It is what it is. You can hate it, you can love it, but that's factual. I think that standard, if you're a serious man, must be maintained the highest possible level. Do not slack off and say, "Oh, she's great, this, she's great, that." You're entering a pool of nonsense that you're not will that you have to really lose yourself totally. And by this, I don't mean the feminist way. I mean that you'll have to do things that are out of character for you to maintain this relationship, and that's just a fact. Now, another gentleman here has been raising stepchildren. This is diabolical. Listen to what he has to say.
You a sucker if you a step parent. Straight like that. So I got two stepdaughters, right? One of them's shipping out to the army in about a month. So yesterday we sitting on the couch, we chopping it up, bucka, bucka, bucka. You know how I go? And she's like, yeah, I had to make a will and I had to put people in charge of my body and my money. God forbid anything happen. So I'm all engaged. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Nothing's gonna happen to you, a pretty girl, and you kinda smart. So they probably gonna have you in the office. But she's like, yeah, but you never know, because they're gonna give me a gun. I get that, but you're gonna be straight. But she goes, just in case though. But if I do die, I left everything to my dad. So I paused for a second. I said, huh? Yeah, I left everything to my dad. I figured like he'll do the right thing. I said, everything? Yeah. I said, you, the car? Yeah. I bought you the car.
Oh my goodness. And you see these types of slaps to these people's faces, they're just done so casually too. And I think the way he's speaking, it was like one of those exchanges where she didn't really expect any feedback or backlash, because this really, it's about a societal thing where it is made acceptable that you're supposed to sacrifice without getting anything back as a man. So for these stepfathers, as Anton Daniels will call them, step crush dummies, they never get it because you'll never actually be priority. It doesn't matter, because often I see a lot of people talk about how they hate their fathers because their fathers were never there until they have to meet, and maybe the gentleman makes a few decent attempts to reconnect. You will lose those children and probably the woman. I'm just looking at the stats. It's very difficult to beat blood. This is the thing, because there are so many kids also who are not raised by their fathers, who when they get old enough, they go out looking for their fathers. You can't beat that bond that was created the moment you fertilize that egg. It is what it is. Oh, you might say it's unfair. Yes, it is. No one cares. If you're going to put yourself in this position, understand that is the situation. No one cares. You will make your sacrifices. People won't care. You would think they should. You would think you should get something back, at least maybe some respect, at the very least. But no.
Um, all your jewelry? Yeah. I bought you that. I bet. You know what? You're right. Your dad a good guy. Pucka, pucka, pucka. I ain't even gonna be in your chest like that. So I go to the room, I'm watching TV, all in my feelings, a tear fall from my eye. Like, damn, I ain't get nothing. You couldn't leave me the car so I could remember you by? Nah, you gonna get it to your daddy. All right, bet. She go, yo, can I go to get a crumble cookie? That's fine. Make sure you.
For me, this is, I will cut off immediately. I would never be in this position, but if I were, if this level of disrespect is leveled against me, I will walk. I'll cut them off. She's an adult, she's going to the army and whatnot. But fine, but I will never put myself in this position where you're still chasing after their affection after they've shown you exactly where you lie in their list of priorities. So how are you expected? I don't know why some of you continue with this, but hey, here we are.
Buy your daddy a cookie. So she go to crumble cookie. On the way to crumble cookie, she called me. Yo, Rob, my car's shaking over 40. I said, oh man, it's probably something to do with your tires. Pull over, check if you got something in your tire. Sure enough, she got a flat. She's like, yeah, I got a flat. What do I do? Call your motherfucking daddy.
I kind of knew where that story was going to go and where it was going to end.
Yeah.
But, honestly, I hear so many stories. I have this saying, right? And it was when I used to do shows on this channel on Wednesday night, and I used to do it and I used to have conversations about how people need to be moving. And this is one of the conclusions that I came to from having conversations where guys come up and ask their questions, different coaching sessions that I've had over the years, so on and so forth. And this is the conclusion that I've come to, that if guys could go back, overwhelmingly, not all, but if most guys can go back, as much as they love their children and adore them and they are in their lives, and they could undo what they had to do by not dealing with the person that they have children with or the person that they took on as children, would they do it differently? And they absolutely would. they would absolutely do it differently. They would never become a stepfather. They would never probably have children with the woman that they had children with. Most guys regret the circumstance that they found themselves in as a result, but they adore their children because that is the only thing that came out of it that was possibly maybe good, and even that is to be seen. And
Yeah, you might get vagabond children. But really, I would tell you this regret doesn't come from the fact that somebody made a good decision and things just went bad. Most of the time, you've got yourself in this position because either most of the time is because you've engaged your emotions other than your rational thought. Because this is long standing, long term investments, but you put in less time in thinking about it than probably with the clothes you wear just because somebody excites you physically. Because that's really the bottom of it. Most of the time, people start having children because somebody excites them physically. You can't even see if they're fit enough to raise your children. And this is one of the biggest problems we have these days with, with the kind of children we have, is because they are never raised properly because the people that you choose to have children with do not have the capacity. It's probably a loose woman, probably a disrespectful woman, it's probably a very illiterate woman in terms of maybe they have a degree of this, but they have no social uh, kind of positive social experiences they can share. They've been raised up by, say, single mothers or whatnot. So they're probably very disrespectful, hate men or whatever. Or they just become extremely myopic and materialistic. So what you end up being is just a wallet. And she'll give you some complimentary punani every now and then. Now, I don't know what you think about this video. Please leave a comment down below. I will leave the link to the rest of the video in the comments section, in the comments, the description box below. And please leave a like on the video and tell me what you, if you, there's other topics you'd like me to cover. And also you can go and subscribe to Anton Daniel's channel. And until next time, peace.